Good evening. This is George Kaiho of Dallas, Texas. I work at a Barker Jettison. Today's review is gonna be Sipsmith London Dry Gin. One of my favorite dry gin, like London style. Let me quickly tell the story about this gin. It started in 2008 with their two bros in London that grew up together. They're not actually brothers, but they're like friends, but they grew up together. They didn't know what to do, so like, what should I do, brah? Cheers, mate. What should I do? And they went into an event, cocktail event, and they met this person. And they quickly became friends, and like, yeah, mate, let's start a gin brand and make the best gin in the world. And they made it. Right, the brand started in 2009, and it's a London dry gin, which is a category that's really big. Basically, all the big brands, like everybody knows, Tanqueray, Bombay Sapphire, Beefeater, Boodles, all that kind of stuff, Gordon's, are London dry gin. So dry gin, typically made in London, is like heavy juniper style, like robust juniper. That's a basic character of a London dry gin, and they wanted to make a London dry gin that'll beat all of them. And in my opinion, they have pretty much done it. Very good quality. They started in 2009, and then they expanded their facility in 2014 until today. And they have 3 copper stills. Copper stills typically are good because they reflect what it's made from. Typically, it's good. It's you know, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not super details on the. Like, if I taste it, I'm not certain I can tell, oh, this is copper steel, this is like stainless steel. Not so sure, but good things are usually made in copper steel. It's good. What really got me by studying the brand is the one-shot distillation method that they use. So they will get their base spirit, which is basically vodka, British wheat. They make a spirit. They probably don't make it themselves. They get a wheat distillate, and then they add their botanicals, which I'm gonna explain a little after. And then they macerate overnight. It's like 14 hours, I think is what the website said. And then, say they get this much spirit, and then they add whatever that's needed for botanicals, steep it, and then they use that to distill to make gin. Of course, distillation process, there's gonna be the heads, which is up front, a lot of boozy, could be dangerous, and then hearts, and then tails, like lower alcohol also could have dangerous stuff. So head, hearts, and tails, right? This is like distillation is the same as like whiskey or anything. Typically, the hearts is the best, right? So they take the heart. They take the heart, and heads and tails. Like a lot of times, they will like reuse in further process. It's too much of a detail to explain, but it's a really typical thing. Like, you don't want to waste like all this stuff. Then usually you re-put it, you rebatch it, and put it back in. In this case, the gin you steep it, so the botanical flavors are already in. They only take the heart and then bottle it, which is, in today's standards, quite unique. But they're using the recipe and method that's been that people been doing, like dating back to like 200 or more years. So they're using like old school method and in a new facility to make this. So pretty high respect for them. Great product. Let's go ahead and taste this. Right. Initial nose is, of course, juniper. It kind of comes right at you, and then it has like a wet, mossy kind of feel to it, with a hint of citrus, kind of warm but bitter. It also have a slight sweeter candy type of notes, but very subtle. Mostly juniper. I looked at the website, so I know what's in it. I'm gonna line it up. It's gonna be lemon peel, Sevilla orange peel, juniper berries, Italian orris root, angelica root, coriander seeds, cassia bark, which is kind of looks like a cinnamon, but it's not cinnamon, almond, and then cinnamon and licorice root. So that's like, what, 10, 11, I think, ingredients. Just looking at the list of the ingredients, it's really basic gin ingredients. Like, there's nothing on the list that's like, oh, that's kind of unique. Like, there's nothing. It's like really, usually when you make a gin, you use these stuff kind of level, which I think is very cool because you're jumping into a field where there's like big brands like Tanqueray, Bombay, or whatnot. They've been doing hundreds of years, literally hundreds of years, and they have like established brand, and then you're using the same flavor profile, the same category. You're like a rookie like jumping into the field, which I find that very fascinating. Let me do the taste. Similar to the nose, the first thing you get the juniper, pretty strong, and then you get the mossy green, wet green. It could be like, possibly it could be like the environment that I'm in because it's summer and there's some AC going on, so it could be like the humidity also. But that's what I get at the moment. And then I do get the citrus, more orange than lemon with the bitterness. And then another thing I notice is after I finish, goes down the finish that I get left over, it's more sweet and thick. So that could be the licorice root or orris root. Those are only kind of sweeter components. So like all the ingredients that are listed, like I can find them in here. It's like just look. It might be hard to find coriander. I haven't really found coriander or almond, cinnamon. Some of them are kind of hard to find, but whatever obvious stuff, I can find them, which is pretty cool. Usually when I taste it, I don't know what they are, and then I try to find out. Oh, it's kind of caraway-ish, or it's kind of da 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 da. I'm usually pretty good at picking out stuff, but it's pretty interesting. Today with this recording, I already know what's in it, and I'm tasting it. So like I can like find them, like because I know, because I can confirm. Pretty cool way to taste. All right, it's good stuff. One thing I forgot to mention is the texture. It's very heavy. It's like coating. When you sip it, it's like it coats. It won't shoot up or go sideways. It coats and like almost syrupy, except it's not sweet or anything. It's just the texture, mouthfeel is very coating mouthfeel, which is I think one of pretty unique element of this brand. Among the major brands, I say Bombay Sapphire has a similar mouthfeel. It's more thick and heavy. I really don't know why. I haven't done much study to contrast why it does that texture and other brands doesn't have that texture. I apologize, but it's good stuff. All right, so I'm gonna make a cocktail that this guy shines, and it's gonna be a Negroni, as you see on the page. So Negroni is a very simple cocktail. It's equal parts of gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. It's right here. In this case, 1 ounce each. 1 ounce each. Equal parts. Very simple cocktail. You can't really mess up this cocktail as long as the vermouth is fresh. This is wine with flavors added, so it can be bad. So I use a shorter bottle, keep it in the refrigerator a little, usually, to make it fresh as always, and I can go through it faster. The method is gonna be build. So I'm gonna build the cocktail in the glass I'm gonna serve. So I'm gonna start and put ice in it. On my video earlier, that was in Japanese, I explained how I do my ice, so that's why I have this empty. But basically, you can get a Tupperware. This is pretty big. You can get a smaller one for if you're making cocktails at home. And then when you freeze it, only the inside gets cloudy. The outside, the four corners are still clear. So you can just cut it out. This is one of the corner. It's pretty clear, right? Only this part, only a little bit cloudy here. So you can just cut it off and then make a clear ice ball. You know, I'm a half Japanese person, and my father is a 13th generation samurai family. So basically, I'm a part-time ninja. So that's why I can do this. All right. So now I got this into relatively a ball shape. It only took me like 20 seconds. All right. If you take your time longer, you start like shaving it with the knife or like buffing it with the towel, you can go further and you can get to a real like sphere. I usually don't do that far because it just takes time, and to me this is okay enough, and it only takes me like 20 seconds to do this. Ninja skill, part-time ninja. Bam. 20 seconds, I can make it to servable. So I usually just finish this way, and to me, this is good enough, and you can still feel that a human made it, not like a manufacturer. So it's like this is not a manufactured ball. This is one of my balls. Would you prefer a manufactured ball or one of my balls? One of my balls. Right, I'm gonna make a cocktail with one of my balls. All right, equal parts. So pretty straightforward. 1 ounce each of everything. Meow. Sipsmith. Compare. $1 in vermouth. Alright, once everything's in, I'm gonna stir it so that all the stuff gets mixed. Also chilling the liquid because it was room temperature, and also chilling the glass a little bit. Basically trying to make everything the same temperature so that when you sip it, there's not much temperature difference. And of course, all these guys are alcohol only, so I'm also adding a little bit of water so it's easier to drink. All right, it's done. Usually for the garnish, it's orange peel, but I like to use lemon peel for my Negronis to have a little more sharper citrus aroma than orange. So just lemon peel, clean it up. Oh, flew away. It's okay, I'm gonna drink it, it's okay. It's okay. If customer, I'll make a new one. Me, it's okay. All right, it's done. Good lemony aroma, complex herb. I would say it's very well balanced. Usually, when you make a Negroni, Campari is very, very, very strong. Like you put Campari in any cocktail, you can taste the Campari. So if you use like a weaker stuff, then the Campari just wins, and it's gonna be like a Campari cocktail. This is Campari with a little bit of other stuff. So that's okay. If you like Campari, that's okay. But to make a cocktail, I would like to have balance to my cocktail. So I don't want just Campari to just win it all. In this case, I want the gin to kind of stand up to it also. So they will kind of compete. And then in this case, the vermouth could be kind of little on the back side. I can use like a vermouth more expressive, like a Carpano or Cocchi di Torino or whatnot. But if I start like try to move up, like compete, then that's also kind of out of balance in my opinion. So I want the vermouth to be kind of on the subtle side, and Campari is already here. So I want the gin to be also to match up with the Campari. That's why I picked for Sipsmith, which has a good coating texture and relatively robust juniper flavor, and I can taste that in my Negroni. It's not just Campari on the rock with some added stuff. It's also the juniper and then the licorice and the mouthfeel. Yeah. So it's really, Negroni to me is like a three-piece band. That this guy is the lead singer, is the icons or the lead guy of the band. This guy is the backup, like maybe a drummer. And this guy could potentially be the lead, but this guy is still like present kind of stuff. So one band I came up with for Negroni is Cream from the 60s. So basically, Campari is Jack Bruce. He was the star of the band. He played the bass, but Jack Bruce was the star of Cream. Ginger Baker, okay, good drummer, like steady. And then Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton back then was not as famous or popular as Jack Bruce, but he definitely had his own thing going on, and whoever noticed Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton is God. So to me, Negroni is Cream, and Sipsmith is Eric Clapton. That will conclude my video for tonight. Cheers. If you have spirits that you want me to review, I will, as long as they're good quality. So please leave a comment, and thank you so much.